Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Daily for Monday, June 3rd, 2024, the start of a new week, a new month, and the Atlantic hurricane season. Have a plan, get prepared. It's also the start of the Hunter Biden felony gun trial in Delaware, where jury selection is underway. Special counsel David Weiss says in 2018, Hunter knowingly lied on a federal form about his drug use to purchase a firearm, which constitutes a federal crime. He is charged with 2 counts related to false statements and a 3rd count of illegally obtaining a gun while addicted to drugs. This is going to get a lot of coverage today, probably not as much as it should on some of the other networks, but it'll be a big story throughout the week, throughout the trial, with Hunter Biden, the son of the president, facing jail time. The conviction of former President Donald Trump continued to dominate the headlines and weekend talk shows as Trump made a whole bunch of new headlines over the weekend with record-breaking fundraising and breaking the internet with Tik Tok. First, we have to go back to Friday night's edition of Greg Kelly Reports, which sounded very similar to Friday morning's edition of the Newsmax Daily.
I wasn't happy. Neither was he. None of us were. Post-conviction. But I told you, amazing things can happen in the middle of a horrible crisis. $55 million raised over the past day. Americans, coast to coast, are totally outraged by this for good reason. Small donors giving money like they've never given before. Look, we'll address this thing. It has to be handled. But this will not dominate the election. We can't let it dominate the election. We already know these cases against Trump are totally fake, okay? We also know that the case against Joe Biden, the vapid, corrupt, silly Joe Biden, that's one that we cannot allow to be obscured by these fake cases against Trump. Quick review of the legacy that Joe Biden does not want to defend because it is undefendable. Losing a war in Afghanistan. Joe did that. Somehow, because of our pathetic media, that was a 4-day story. But it has ramifications that could be with us for 4 centuries. Losing a war, America prestige status down the tubes, that's on Joe Biden. What else? Losing a border. That is on Joe Biden. You see why he'd rather talk about checks that were written 9 years ago by Donald Trump, right? He doesn't want to talk about this. The media certainly doesn't want to talk about it either. The border. He lost it. What about this depravity? Joe Biden thinks this is some sort of a civil rights issue. Adult transgender individuals hanging around with children. It is disgusting. It is perverted. It is wrong. Joe, this might work in the primary, but he knows this is not America. So he doesn't want to talk about that. Also, what's the inflation rate? Sometimes I hear 20%, sometimes I hear 19%, basically 19.5%. That's horrible. We all know about it. We all feel it every time we buy something. Everybody in America, poor, middle class, rich, we don't like paying higher prices. This is all on Joe. And also, putting people at each other's throats over race. When he goes to every black college he can find and he talks down to them, panders to them, pretends that they are the victims of white supremacy and they can't be whatever the hell they want to be in America. Joe is trying to rip this country apart over race. That's not the kind of president he said he would be. A couple of other things that we can't forget. Remember that dopey balloon from China? Right? Flew right over America, and Joe didn't do a damn thing about it until the Chinese balloon was done with its mission. Okay? After it got over the water, that was very strange. Something that perhaps a person compromised, right? Compromise might not take out the balloon until it was done with its mission.
Greg went on to talk about Ukraine and the Israel-Hamas war. Great minds think alike. Plus, the facts are the facts. Catch Greg Kelly Reports tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. He is probably going to talk about the $200 million in donations Trump has received since his conviction and Trump's new TikTok account blowing up the internet, or Trump's appearance at Saturday night's UFC event where the crowd of about 20,000 or so completely lost their minds and were chanting, "You know what, Joe Biden, you know what, Joe Biden," after USA, USA. This is UFC fighter Sean Strickland's victory speech.
President Trump, you're the man, bro. It is a damn travesty what they're doing to you. I'll be donating to you, my man. Let's get it done. Get it done. Congratulations, sir. Sean Strickland, ladies and gentlemen.
And this is a clip from CNN that Newsmax host Lidia Curanaj featured on Sunday Agenda.
People who are decidedly non-MAGA, not Trump fans, are blowing up tonight saying this case never should have been brought. This is ridiculous charges. It was egregious use of the criminal justice system. And I mean, I'm hearing people say, I had no intention of voting for Donald Trump, and now I am. And then if you ask the Trump campaign what's happening, you know, they literally broke their online donation portal because people were rushing to the internet to give them money in the minutes after the verdict.
Yeah, in just 24 hours, Team Trump raised over $50 million. $50 million! And a third of those donations coming from people who never donated to Trump before. And then last night at the UFC fight, the applause by the tens of thousands of people in attendance, it was deafening. Fighters, they jumped over the fence to shake Trump's hands. The Democrats, they really thought they had knocked Trump out. The radical left, you know what? We know they are determined to destroy this country. But with this latest blow to Trump, they haven't just awakened a sleeping bear. They've inadvertently reignited that beautiful, rebellious, revolutionary American spirit that this country was founded upon. We cannot and will not surrender to the evil forces trying to envelop this country. Joe Biden thinks he's won this battle, his smugness oozing from every pore as he concluded his press conference on Friday. Take a look at this.
Mr. President, can you tell us, sir, Donald Trump refers to himself as a political prisoner and blames you directly. What's your response to that, sir?
Smirk all you want, Mr. President. Smirk away. You may have won this latest battle, but the war to win back this country, it is far from over. Judgment Day is coming for your entire regime on November 5th.
That's Newsmax host Lidia Curanaj on Sunday Agenda. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst spoke about it with Mike Carter on America Right Now.
Senator, what does this fundraising haul tell you about the mood of the American electorate right now?
Oh, Mike, it tells me that the people are fed up with this Biden administration, and they want to see our nation righted once again. We are tired of the fingers of the left going through the judiciary branch. We need to see good people serving in these positions. And that's why the American people are going to focus on Republicans this year. They're going to turn out in droves. They're going to support President Donald Trump and Republicans all up and down the ticket because they're tired of the left's funny business. They're tired of the climate ideology. They're tired of young liberals chanting death to America on college campuses. They're tired of boys participating in women's sports. This has just been an outrageous 3.5 years so far under Joe Biden's presidency. We need to have Donald Trump back in the White House.
Senator Joni Ernst joining us on America Right Now. Senator, President Biden reacting to this verdict on Friday. He posted this on X. In part, there's only one way to keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office, and that's at the ballot box. We've got our first presidential debate coming up at the end of the month. Senator, do you believe President Biden might use Trump's conviction as a get-out-of-debate free card?
He might very well. And we know that President Joe Biden, man, he can barely get through a speech without mumbling and stumbling. And he will probably try and use whatever excuse he can to get out of debates. But that's really unfortunate because we would see then the vitality of Donald Trump and his quick, sharp wit and the way he can respond when you pair that up against a very weak, feeble Joe Biden. So that's really unfortunate. We need to see the two of them paired up together so we get a full visual on the difference between Donald Trump and what he can do and bring for our country versus what we have seen in the last 3.5 years under Joe Biden and the demise of our democracy.
Senator Joni Ernst on America Right Now. Back on Friday, as the week concluded, House Republicans called on Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and prosecutor Matthew Colangelo to appear before Congress later this month for a public hearing to discuss the Trump case. I seriously doubt they're going to be willing to do that, which may lead to subpoenas, so it may or may not be something, but Rita Cosby spoke about it with New York Congressman Anthony D'Esposito.
Congress is also considering trying to haul in Alvin Bragg and also Matthew Colangelo. What would you like to see happen there? What should be looked into? And again, what can Congress do on that level?
Well, I think when it comes to Alvin Bragg, as Congress hauls him in to testify in front of committees, I'm really hoping that New Yorkers will haul him right out of office, because that's where Alvin Bragg belongs. From day one, even before he took office, Alvin Bragg made it very clear to New Yorkers, to his office, that he apparently feels that being elected district attorney means that he can rewrite the penal code here in New York, and sent out memos prior to even being sworn in saying that his office would no longer prosecute cases that matter to New Yorkers. And what we need to see from Congress is holding individuals like him accountable. And it's one of the reasons as to why I really, wish that Lee Zeldin was successful in his gubernatorial run, because Lee Zeldin made it very clear how important the issue of rogue DAs was, and made it very clear that on day one, he would have removed Alvin Bragg from office. And that's what we need in this state and in this country. We need leadership. We need people that are going to stand up for the American people, for American values, and quite frankly, stand up for the Constitution.
That's New York Congressman Anthony D'Esposito on Saturday Report with Rita Cosby. They also plan on asking former Federal Election Commissioner Brad Smith to appear at the hearing as well. Last week, I told you the Biden administration, without much fanfare, announced that it was going to combat this summer's high gas prices by releasing 1 million barrels of gas from a reserve in New Jersey that they said was not a part of the nation's strategic reserve in Texas. Yesterday, OPEC announced that it is extending its oil production cuts that were first implemented 2 years ago. And I cannot not mention this. More than 60 U.S. World War II veterans arrived in Paris on Saturday to participate in ceremonies marking the 80th anniversary of D-Day this weekend. One of those veterans was Ralph Goldsticker.
We did our job and we came home, and that's it. We never talked about it. I didn't. For 70 years, I didn't talk about it.
They did what they had to do or were told to do, and then they came home. Check this out. The youngest of the World War II veterans on the flight from Dallas to Paris was 96 years old. The oldest, 107. God bless them. So all of this, the Hunter Biden trial, the Israel-Hamas war, and whatever else breaks will lead the day. On Wall Street, we had mixed to flat numbers starting the day. Friday's jobs report will be one of the big highlights of the week, along with more earnings reports throughout the week. Shares of GameStop surging 60% or more off of some news this morning. 60%. So congratulations to you if you have some shares of GameStop. The Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers are in the 2024 Stanley Cup Finals. Congratulations to both teams, especially Florida, making their second consecutive appearance in the Cup, which is no easy task, and I think that puts a lot more pressure on them to win it. I know that there's a lot of Canadians listening to the podcast in Canada, and I know you guys are excited. Good luck. Today is World Bicycle Day, established by the UN General Assembly in 2008 to encourage exercise and environmental preservation. It's also National Egg Day here in the United States, celebrating the versatility and nutritional benefits of one of the least expensive foods that you can use in many different ways. All right, be sure to keep up with all of the news all day long on Newsmax, Newsmax Plus, and Newsmax.com, beginning with Wake Up America each and every morning. Make sure you're streaming on Newsmax Plus. If not, go to NewsmaxPlus.com, get signed up. You can also get a free trial. It includes all of your favorite shows and hosts like Rob Schmidt Tonight, Greg Kelly Reports, Carl Higbee on Frontline, Wake Up America, Greta Van Susteren, Bianca De La Garza, and much more, with analysis from people like Mike Huckabee, former Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, Alan Dershowitz, Carrie Lake, and many others. I'm Tony Marino. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Newsmax Daily. Share it with your friends and family. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and keep on fighting the good fight.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime, anywhere.
It's our America. We conquered it. We built it. Great values like honesty and fairness. Great courage. A great nation needs a free press. Newsmax is it. 30 million Americans regularly go to Newsmax when they really need to know. They watch Newsmax TV at home. On the free Newsmax app, they go to Newsmax.com. Start today. Newsmax is real news for real people.